Another year, another Xmas take. Let's see what I picked today. Oh boy. Frau Perchta was an interesting find, and apparently isn't as well known as Krampus. Funny enough, she's also known in Germany, but Krampus had the spotlight. So come join me as I take a dive into this vile, demented lore to see what she is about. I'm Anaconda, and I am continuing my Christmas task of telling many tales of many Christmas traditions every year. Frau Perchta was also known as Perchta or Bertha, and has also been called Spin-Stupenfrau or Spinning Room Lady. Do forgive me if I make any mispronunciations, I'm just a dumb American dude. She's often depicted with a big nose made of iron, dressed in rags, perhaps carrying a cane, and generally resembles a decrepit old crone. But this old crone packs a mighty wallop, and carries a long knife hidden under her skirts. Honestly, I don't know how you'd be able to walk around with that thing. That must be kind of painful. She also bears a resemblance to the Scandinavian goddess Frigga, and both of them share one obsession in common: spinning specifically, and domestic neatness generally. Frankly, she's pretty judgy about the state of your home for a woman who dresses in all rags, but I'm not one to judge. Legend has it that you better get all your flax spun by 12th night of January 6th. For when the Christmas season was over, it would be time to set up the big upright loom, at which time you must have enough thread to warp it and start your weaving. And that's Frau Perchta's punishment for those lazy ladies who haven't finished all their weaving. In Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, there were numerous tales of Frau Perchta trampling and even setting fire to the half-spun fibers. And if should you really irritate her, like say, not only is your flax not spun, but your house is a total mess, and you've even failed to leave out additional bowl of porridge for her. I hate to see what she'd do to the unkempt house. Perchta had one large foot, sometimes called a goose foot or swan foot. Grimm thought the strange foot symbolized her being a higher being who could shapeshift to animal form. He noticed that Bertha with the strange foot exists in many languages. It is apparently a swan maiden's foot, which, as a mark of her higher nature, she cannot lay aside. And at the same time, the spinning woman's splay foot that worked the threadle. Now get a kick out of this. According to one of Berchta's legend, a woman who lost her son in infancy saw him in a field with a group of other children, each carrying a jug. Following a lady dressed in white, as the white lady stepped over a low wall, the other children followed, but her son couldn't get over. She raced over to pick him up and take him in her arms. He smiled at her warmth, but said to her, "Don't cry, mother. You will fill my jug with your tears, and it will overflow. I'm safe with the white lady." The weeping mother stopped crying, set her son on the other side of the wall with the rest of the children, and was able to return to her home content that her child was being looked after. Honestly, white lady or not, rather my son trusts her. I would not trust this lady, because I'm pretty sure there is hidden intent in those eyes. Frau Perchta appeared on the 12th night of Christmas with her Perchta spirit followers with a new nickname, the Belly Slitter. And before I read more of this, make sure you don't have any children around, or if you're not sensitive to what's about to happen next. It's not technically gruesome, but I would rather put a warning here now before we go forward. So let us continue. According to a new legend, if a child were found to be a liar, Perchta would scrape out his eyes with glass. If she was unsatisfied with your behavior, left the home dirty, or worst of all, if the spinning for the year was unfinished, she would slice open your belly and stuff it with straw and pebbles, and then stomp the unfinished work with her deformed goose. Now, keep that in mind, that this is basically a warning. So Frau is quite scary and quite deadly, so the next time you're told to clean up, I suggest you do. Otherwise your belly will be sliced open by the old woman herself. If you guys enjoyed this Christmas tale, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next year. Stay safe and warm, and be wary of Frau Perchta.